The concept of questions is pervasive in our culture, in our society. Uh, what is that expression? Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. Or um, we sometimes tell our kids, why are you asking me so many questions? Or do you really want the answer to that question? And so this idea of questions is very much ingrained in our culture. And I'm going to tell you that my message today is about what makes a good realtor versus a great realtor. We all know and have those images of the stereotypical realtor. And what does that look like? Talks a lot, could maybe be a bit of a bully, um, could be just someone that has a larger than life personality, someone that is only concerned about closing the transaction. And in all those descriptions, what you probably don't see in your mind's eye is someone that sits back, listens to their clients, and asks a lot of questions. So the difference between a good realtor and a great realtor is a great realtor will talk a heck of a lot less than they listen. And a great realtor will ask a ton of open-ended questions, not because they want to use that as ammunition to sell themselves better. They're asking questions, they're asking the right questions so that they can get the right answers, so that they can move this process and their client to success faster. That's it, right? So sometimes realtors are asking lots of questions because they just want to hear themselves talk. And they already know their queued up response to that client's question. And why do they do that? To prove how smart they are. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about asking very deliberate and thought out, open-ended questions so that you don't make mistakes, so that you truly hear what your client is trying to say, so that things don't go unsaid, so that you're not guessing, so that you're not acting based off of assumptions. Okay? So a lot of our training has dozens and dozens of questions. Go to the on-demand training tab and you'll see buyer seller presentations. All those questions that you ever need to ask a client is right there. But sometimes silence is good too, right? So neither side needs to be doing all the talking. Sometimes asking a question and just pausing can be very, very effective. You ever interact with someone that asks you a really thought-provoking question, and in that nanosecond, you're thinking, God, that's a really good question. But then they go on to like almost answer it for you or add so much to that dialogue that they don't circle back and wait for you to answer that question. And so be mindful of how you're asking questions, what kind of questions you're asking, and why you're asking them. Difference between a good realtor and a great realtor will ask a ton of questions.